Plaintiff, David Garcia, says he started hanging out with the defendant after they met at a club. And when he tried to pursue a relationship with her, he realized she abused cocaine and pills. David's suing because he claims after the defendant spent the night at his house, she stole money from him. Defendant Claudette Lemus says just this year she realized that David was in a relationship with another woman, yet he has been pursuing her for years. Claudette feels David has been misleading her this entire time, and she insists she never stole any money from him.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I met Claudette back in 2012. Being in the nightlife industry, I met her at one of the clubs I used to work at. We started hanging out.
What do you do at the club?
I'm a promoter. So we started hanging out. She started coming around more often. Her and her friends noticed that she would do a little bit of drugs. Not really my thing. Not something.
How did you notice?
Being around her and her friends. I mean, we would go
What kind
out.
of drugs?
Cocaine, pills.
Where would they be doing it?
House parties, after parties of the club.
In open view?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's not something that I was really into. I did kind of try to talk to her as far as, kind of pursue something a little bit more than friends. And when I noticed that,
Let's get back to the open drug use at these clubs. So these were the clubs that you were promoting.
Yes, sir.
Her and her friends would be openly using.
Not at the club, at after parties.
She walk up to you and pop the pill in the air while you're standing there?
Not necessarily.
Huh?
Not necessarily.
Where'd she get the coke from?
I have no idea.
Promoters
I have no idea.
and Xanax to bring them down.
I don't do any of that.
I didn't say you did. I say some promoters do. Then they try to take the young ladies home. Didn't you say you tried to talk to her?
I did. But when I noticed that, I backed off.
You gave it to her. I'm sorry. No, you didn't. Go ahead. Let me hear from you, ma'am.
I met Dave back in 2011. We've had an on and off relationship. He's not consistent. I learned this year that he is in a relationship, and as he mentioned and stated, he has tried to pursue me over the years. I'm very confused because, for example, last year he took me out for my birthday. He showered me with roses, champagne, Drake tickets to see him in concert.
Coke. Right, Coke.
And, like as he stated, he's a promoter, he's a salesman. So I truly feel as though I've been misled.
Oh.
More so when I had stated that he's not consistent. Over the years, he would really attempt to woo me, smooth talk me, attempt to, move forward in a relationship, but he would always become MIA.
Well, the man is a promoter. He does his work at night. Most people, let me handle this for you. Clearly, you haven't been doing a good job. He's a promoter. When do promoters work? At night. When do most couples date? At night. It's not that he doesn't want to see you or he's coming up missing in action. He's working. He's working to bring you those flowers. He's working to buy those Drake tickets. He's working to get that Coke he gives you in your fridge. That costs more than all. All right, and you deny these allegations, certainly, as I'm kidding with you about the Coke and the, what was the other pills?
Xanax, you mentioned. I'm sorry, what pills?
I'm
listening. These are his
mentioned it, but we're talking about what he mentioned. Go ahead, sir. Tell me about the $3,000 you're suing her for.
One of the nights I brought her out to the club that I was working at. She knows that I get paid cash at the club. We happened to go back home together. It was just her and I. At that time, we were a few months. This was this year when she came back into my life.
Okay.
So we were dating for a few months. I put the money away, and only she saw where I put it at. She was the only one at my place. I put it away in a drawer. I woke up the next day. Normally, when she would spend the night, she would stay there throughout the day. Woke up the next morning, she was gone.
Oh, yeah. Coke man got your money.
A few hours go by, and I didn't bother to check the money then, but a few hours went by because I was going to grab the money and put it and go deposit it to my account. The money was missing. What a coincidence. She's gone, money's gone. I tried calling her, no answer. I put two and two together. You know, it didn't add up. You know, the fact that my money was missing.
She never answered your call?
Not that day. Not that day.
When did she?
A few days later, that's when she finally answered my phone call. I got a hold of her. I was talking to her for a little bit. She started crying and said that she took the money accidentally because she needed it. She was broke. She needed to pay some things off. And I didn't really give me details. And at that point, I was like, I mean, you could have just, you know, asked me for money if you really wanted to borrow money. I would have lent you the money.
Did she say she had spent it all by then?
She didn't give me any details as far as.
Then they try to take the young ladies home. Didn't you say you tried to talk to her?
I did. But when I noticed that, I backed off.
You gave it to her. I'm sorry. No, you didn't.
Plaintiff David Garcia says after he tried pursuing a relationship with the defendant, he realized she was abusing cocaine and pills.
Ma'am?
That's a lie. I never stole his money.
This is the first time you're hearing this?
Is it the first time I'm hearing
We spoke
this?
about it over the phone when I
Yeah,
called
when
you.
you all spoke about it, tell me how that conversation went.
He basically asked
Had you
me.
disappeared on him? You talking about MIA. He said you were MIA for 3 days after his money came up MIA.
What comes around
So
goes
you
around.
and his money came up MIA at the same time.
When we had spoke about it, I had stated to him that no, I did not steal the money. And I also asked him if he had asked any other of his circle of friends that were there that
There was nobody else there that night. It was just you and I that went back home together.
I understand that, but he definitely, again, he definitely has after parties at his place.
Yeah, but we're
There's-
talking about the night, as he says, that the two of you went home together alone?
We had friends over that night.
Oh,
There was
okay.
nobody over my house that night. It was just you and I. We went over to my place after I got my money from the club, went straight back to my place.
That's not true?
I went to his place with him. but
Others were there?
I'm sure a friend or two stopped by.
See, and you're
There was
not
nobody
coming
else
across as truthful now.
There was nobody else there when you showed up.
Not coming across as
Okay,
truthful.
okay.
So now I'm inclined to believe him, because if I have no independent evidence, I have to go with whose testimony sounds more credible. And at this point, his does. What do you have?
I also have witness statements from two of my friends that were there when
Let's
I called.
see. Did you take 3 days to call him back? Why?
Because I felt as though
3,000.
he was setting me up
You
for.
get a quarter key or eighth?
Enough for a 3-day run.
An eighth of a key. Yeah, that's 3-day run. Yeah, that's what happened. She didn't answer your phone because she was for 3 days. She never went to sleep or answered the phone, Doc. She was binging on your 3,000. All right, this is your friend who said they're not choosing sides, but I will say the truth and what I witnessed. When David noticed his money missing, he did call Claudette and confronting her about it, and he was present at the moment. Claudette agreed to pay him $3,200, and you're suing for $3,000. Your witness says she agreed to
Yeah,
pay
I just
$3,200.
at the end I figured, you know what? When she was telling me about the money and how she took it, I was like, you know what? Let's just start at $3,000, and she agreed to that.
All right. Based on the testimony and these witnesses, he has convinced me. And so you owe him the $3,000. Go back, do whatever, I don't know how you, I don't know what you do after you snorted it all up. $3,000, what can you do? Go find the next promoter and get him his $3,000 back, right?
That's right.
All right, have a good day.
I told you.